into last season, I think people thought that might be the year where Teron Vincent could really break through. But I don't think we at the time knew the extent of his injury situation. So how much was that holding him back at the start of last year, and how much is being healthy contributing to some of the things we're hearing now about maybe him breaking out?
Yeah, that's the difference. He wasn't healthy last year. He couldn't play. And so he played late in the season when he got really healthy, but he didn't play a lot of football last year. And so now he's a healthier player, and he's going through spring ball. He's gone through a winter workout, and he's in a really great position right now. He's what we thought he would be when we brought him and recruited him. And so he's having a great spring right now. He really is, because he's healthy. He's playing fast. He's strong at the point of attack. All the things we look for from a three technique.
We'll go next to Stephen Means for Cleveland.com. Stephen.
Hey, Larry, a quick kind of recruiting question. Obviously, you've taken, guys from all over the country, different ratings, 5-star, 4-star, whatever. But it seems to be this trend of, highly rated defensive ends that's kind of in your backyard. Recently with Zach and, Jack, and there are some other guys as well. As a guy who knows the position better than anybody on the Zoom call, as you've kind of watched film and evaluated guys, what have you maybe seen to allow some of these guys to develop to that point to where they are kind of seen as these highly rated players?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think one thing I have advantage when those guys are home players, like the Jack, the Zach Harrison, Jonathan Cooper, home players, they get to get on campus more. They get to get on the field more and go to camps, spend more time with them. I think that's the key, right, for those guys, because they've been here, they've been around me. They actually get the system early. So that's the advantage for the guys that are local, because they can move faster. And that seemed to be the thing with Jack. Jack became every camp. And so he don't have to relearn the technique. He just got to refine his technique. And I think that's the huge advantage. We have guys local. So yeah, if you can find that guy local, you'd love to have him, because you can spend more time with him. The guy long distance, those are the ones you're going to have to take time with. So you have to do it through Zoom and trying to get him caught up. But it's nothing like being in person, hands-on, to really start the development stage. Thanks for the question. That was a great question.
All right, and we'll go next to Dave Biddle. Dave.
Thanks, Mike. Hi, Larry. Good to see you as always.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. It seems like the three certainties in life are death, taxes, and Larry Johnson having a deep and talented defensive line. Just even after losing Tommy and Coop, how do you feel about this year's group overall? It just seems like all you guys do is reload every year.
I'm really excited about this group. I really am. We lost Tommy, it was a big loss, but we had guys waiting in the wing. And if we got Teron and stuff up, and then Jerron Cage is having probably the best spring he's had since he's been here. And I think that makes a difference. Those guys all play a little bit last season. That gives us depth on the inside. And as far as the ends, we got, 4 veteran ends returning, and that makes it really easier to really teach and move forward in that defensive scheme. So it's been so far, it's been really great to watch this guy work.
Thank you.
All righty, next up, Austin Ward from Leonard Monroe. Austin.
Hey, Larry.
Hey.
We've talked plenty in the past about, getting pressure versus the number of sacks. When you evaluated last year, what did you think about the pass rush over the course of the season? What kind of would you like to see from this group now heading into 2021?
We got a lot of quick throws. We're close in a lot of classes. When you sit down and watch all the pressure from last year, I think we were so close so many times for making a big play, but we didn't get there. So now just going back and studying that a little bit, trying to change our technique, our approach. That's what we're working on right now. And just kind of reading it faster, reading the quick game faster to try to make a difference, bending the edge and, bursting to the finish, all those little things, technique things we can do to make a difference. But I still believe, pressure sometimes is better than the sack, because you force the quarterback to throw a erratic throw into an interception. Matching the hands, one of the things that we do really well, and it has so Gary. Tipping the ball to himself and catching the end zone in Michigan State. So I think all those little things are part of what we have to do to increase the sack numbers. And plus, we didn't play a lot of football. We didn't play a lot of games either to get those numbers where we want them to be. But I'm not a guy chasing numbers. I'm just chasing production. The fact that we can get it done, whereas quick throws, bat the ball down, change the quarterback, hit the quarterback, all those things factor into, getting sacks.
Thanks, Larry.
Yep.
All righty, next up, Bill Rabinowitz from the Dispatch. Bill.
Hi, Larry. Tyreek Smith is kind of one of those guys who a lot of pressure, only one sack. Was that just a function of, like you said, quarterbacks getting rid of the ball quickly, or does he need to do something to be able to finish the job? And what is that?
A little bit of scheme, getting the ball out fast. You got great pass rushers. They aren't going to hold the ball. And we always get different protection. We get chip, we get slide to, we get double team, we get max protects. So it's more than just watching the pass throw. What are they doing up front to try to slow us down? But certainly, one thing I don't want him to do is change what he's doing. He's done a great job rushing the quarterback, and we'll continue to do that. And I don't try to panic about it because that could get a kid like, okay, I've got to go make a sack now. And then you get a kid jumping out of lanes or, doing things that we shouldn't do in defensive scheme. So I think we'll see a big change going into the season, just how it plays out, what we get and how teams are protecting us. That's what we have to study.
Thank you.
All righty, we'll go next to Tony Gerdeman from Buckeye School. Tony.
Larry, when you signed Tyreek, we kind of compared him to Tyquan Lewis. And I'm wondering now in his fourth year, how close is he to being that? Can he be that Big Ten Defensive Lineman of the Year this year, do you think?
You talking Tyreek Smith?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Tyreek's got a chance to be a really special defensive end. I really do. I think with him and Zach and the backups they had, Javonte and Tyler Fried, all those guys can be starters. But Tyreek's got a very great first step. And if he continue to grow and obviously healthy and get through the season, I think we'll see a special guy on the field. I think you'll see a different guy on the field in the sense of how he plays. He's certainly playing well in spring right now. And I like to see him continue to do that as we go forward.
All righty, next up, Joey Kaufman, Columbus Dispatch.
Larry, when you're replacing Tommy Togiai at that nose spot, what are some of the traits you want to see from guys like Tron and Dron to kind of fill that role at nose?
Really, a guy like Antoine Jackson and Jerron Cage, and hopefully we get a young guy to jump in there also. But really, the nose position is a different position. You have to be a powerful guy, very strong, and you have to be quick. And that's why we love BB, because he was so quick on the inside. And Tom, in case he was such powerful inside, you hardly could move him. Antoine's a quicker guy inside, so he'll give us more movement on the inside as we go forward. But that's what we're looking for. That guy's got to be a powerful guy. He's got to be smart. He's got to understand protections to know where he can get his two-way go at, and just football talk. But that's the kind of guy we're looking for in those guys. We like a bigger guy, but I'll take quickness over big to make sure we can get, make a difference in the line of scrimmage. We want to knock the line of scrimmage back. That's what we're asking our nose guard to do, to create a new line of scrimmage and make the ball bounce. And I'm really surprised. I'm really happy where we are right now with our guys on the inside and how hard they're working to make a difference. And Antoine is one of those guys who's a fifth-year guy coming back, so he gets it now. He's a much smarter football player, and he just reads and reacts to things really well. That's where Tommy was. Tom was a really smart player.
Alrighty, next up, Tim May, Letterman Row. Tim.
Always a pleasure talking to the only undefeated coach in Ohio State football history. Larry, there was an old Baptist.
It's got to be Tim. It's just, you have to throw that out there, Tim, right? It's just.
Sorry. Well, I think it's great. Talk about Haskell Garrett making a play, man. Those guys rose to the occasion, but I digress. That old Baptist hymn, I saw the light. Do you see that every year of guys whose eyes just kind of get a little bit brighter in your room, and now physically and confidently and everything else, they're ready to play? And what brings that along, do you think, in your opinion?
That's a great question. It's the process. And that's what you get players to understand. There's a process to get to that third year or get to that fourth year. You got to do all the grinding at the bottom to reach the top. And once you get into that right area, I call it, get into the level that we think that we can move you, maybe a half inch, just another notch up. I mean, that's when you get really excited about coaching guys. And Haskell's kind of done that. You know what I mean? He's been here, and now he's moved that stick very high. Now he's in a place where I call it red area. I talked to a lot of guys about that. Now it's time to move forward. No doubt about it. But to me, it's just a process. It won't happen overnight. It really doesn't.
Do you see a lot of guys in that room now who are kind of making that move on their own niche?
Yeah, no doubt about it. And that's the cool thing about what you're watching. You're watching a guy like, take Zach Harrison, for example, how much he's moved to the next level. You guys haven't seen him. I see him every day, and I can see the change in him. But it's the process. Now he's there. He's in that third year. He understands it. He plays absolutely incredible fast. And that's what we want for our guys to get to that third year, to really understand our process and how we play and our technique, our brand, and grab a hold of it and go forward. And that's what's really neat for me watching these guys right now.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
All righty, we'll go next to Whitney Harding. Whitney.
Thanks, Mike. And hi, Larry. Thanks for the time today.
You got it.
Let's go back to Jack. You said like those local guys have a little bit of a leg up because they get to go to camps and things. So what have you seen from him so far this spring? And do you anticipate that he could make an impact this coming year, his first year?
Yeah, still early. I mean, I certainly like where he's at right now. No doubt about that. because he's been here. He understands our system. But he's playing really well. You know, he's the thing I like about Jack, he's a fierce competitor. He hates to lose. I mean, he wants to win every rep, and I love that about him. But I think he's going to be a special player down the road. We want to wait and see as we get into the fall and go through, want to go to spring, summer workouts. But I certainly like where he's at right now, his development set, where he's at.
And a totally different topic. You guys are going to be able to have fans in for this spring game. Just how exciting is it for these guys you had a few in those late games, but this is different. So how exciting is that?
They're excited. This is going to be fun for our players to get a chance to be, fans in the stands, and especially the parents. And that's the most important. They get to see them for the first time. And I know the young guys are excited about that. And just to be able to walk into the stands and look around and see people instead of poster, it's going to be pretty cool also.
All righty, we'll go next to Dan Hope from 11 Warriors.
Hey, Larry, to follow up on Jack, when you have four veterans like you do in Zach and Tyreek and Tyler and Javonte at defensive end, what does Jack have to do to convince you that I have to find a role for Jack? I've got to find a way to get him on the field.
One thing we're going to do, and he don't have to convince me, we're going to find a role for him. If he continue to work hard and do the things we're asking him to do, we'll find a place to play him. I've never been afraid to play freshman players. If you got a chance to be in that 5-6 defensive end row, we're going to find a role for you that you can contribute. I think that's important. I think the most important thing is that when a kid feel like he has a role, he'll work hard at it. If I can give him a role early on and say, this is what I want you to do and be the best at it, I think he'll do that. And that's what we're going to have to do, find a role for him as he goes forward. But he's got to earn it. That's the biggest thing. He's got to earn that role. But we'll find a role for him going forward if he turns out what I think he might be down the road.
Sorry. Alrighty, we'll go next to Brendan Gulick, Buckeyes Now on SI.
Hi, Larry. Hope you're enjoying spring practice this year after
Thank you.
12 months. Hey, I guess I'm asking a question that's more retrospective. What's the most important lesson that last year or this last 12 months taught you, and how do you think you can apply that moving forward here?
I tell you, man, perseverance. I mean, really, perseverance. And persevering. The thing that comes to mind, persevering family. How you can keep it all together. And I tell I was sharing a story today with my players today, and we all go through something, like you guys, we're all kind of gone through something here, and how you handle that, how you kind of stay forward, continue to press the button to go forward. That's the restart to me. That's the toughest thing we all have to do, because it's a different, it's a different life right now. It's a different world, and we all have to adjust. But trying to keep our players focused and listen to them, that's really the toughest thing, is you got to find time to listen to them, because they got something they got to say. Then it has nothing to do with football. And my share and my testimony, I hope to give them strength that, forget it. Coach Jay struggles too, because you can't do those things. It's the first time that probably in my coaching career, I have guys over my house for Easter dinner. That's not a norm, because you want family around you. We didn't do that this year. And that was tough, because that's what we always do. And it's because of the pandemic. And so it's forced all of us to change, and just be thankful and be blessed that we're in our opportunity we are, and to still have a chance to play football and coach football and go on our normal lives.
All right, let's go next to Spencer Holbrook, Water Monroe. Spencer.
Larry, you're known as one of the best in-person recruiters in the country, and you haven't been able to do that for about a year now. How has the Zoom year, now that you've got a chance to look back on it, how has that affected your style of recruiting? Has it made you a better recruiter because you had to kind of adapt and learn to do some things that you might not have done in the past?
I think it's forced you to adapt. I think that's a great, way to look at it. It forced you to adapt. You probably have to do more in Zoom than you've done before, and doing videotape, showing exactly what we do, how we run drills that you were saved for the on-campus visit, or you were saved to go into the house, you take your laptop, pull it out, and try to wow the kids in the house that this is how we can make you better. Now you have to do it from a distance. Really, I am an on-hand guy. I like to touch and feel. And it's tough not to be able to do that with players. You really have that great connection that you need to have personally. So it's been tough, but we adapted, and we've definitely adapted and moved forward in it. And we're having some great conversation with a lot of young players. And so I kind of like that also.
All righty, we got two more. We'll do the first one to Patrick Murphy. Patrick, go ahead.
Hey, Larry. Going back to Teron, he was talking to us about when he was dealing with injuries, talking to his dad, who told him this is part of the game and you have to get healthy and show what you can do. How did you see him deal with that process as someone who was around him every day and coping with, I know where I am talent wise, but I just can't get out there and doing it?
Yeah, I think I know Toronto. It wasn't easy for him because he wanted to be a part of it. I think the biggest battle he had, he kept telling his dad, I'm letting the team down, I'm letting Coach Johnson down, and I think that says a lot about who he is. His dad's a great guy, so he understands the game. But I just tell you what he did. He went to work. He didn't sit around and pout about it. He went to work at it and rehabs. I think that's why he's at the position he's right now. That he worked hard in rehab to get back on the field, and that really accelerated when we start practice here. So I'm really happy where he's at right now, and he's deserved a break, and he's got a great break, and we're looking for really great things for him this fall.
All righty, and final question today for Coach Johnson to Tim Hall from 97.1.
Hey, thanks, Larry. I was just wondering, with the NFL draft coming up here in a couple weeks, you just had the pro day. You look at a guy like Coop. What are you most proud of? Somebody like that.
I mean, his work ethic is off the charts. I mean, you're a guy that come to work every day from the day he showed up in the building, and he has not stopped working. And he deserved a chance. And I think he got a chance to play in the NFL. There's no doubt about it. Locker room guy, great leadership guy. He's a guy can play 10 or 15 years because he's going to do it the right way. He's a lot like Sam Hubbard in the sense of how you go to work every day. And I see Coop in the same position here. And I'm really thrilled and happy for him, and can't wait to see where he ends up playing. So yeah, thanks for asking that question.
Yeah. Do you talk to a lot of these guys, like even in the past, like in these 2 weeks going up to the draft, any nerves or anything? Do they text you or talk to you a lot going into it?
Yeah, we talked. There's guys coming back next week. Actually get some workout in. So we'll get a chance to spend some time together. We talked before they went to their pro day just to make sure they're all locked in, ready to go. Always check it up on them, make sure they're working, opposed to hanging out. And those guys have been working really hard. So I'm looking forward to see what happens in the draft.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Coach.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to click on that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing, and come visit us over at BuckeyeGrove.com for all the best Ohio State information on the web.